The atmosphere in Tanzania is no longer that of campaign slogans and posters. It's one of boots on the ground, sirens in the distance, and a watchful silence that feels orchestrated. In the past few weeks, armored personnel carriers have been spotted near major opposition strongholds. Military-grade drones, previously used for border surveillance, are now being deployed across cities under the pretext of national security. Opposition rallies, once alive with chants, are now overshadowed by the echo of riot shields and tactical trucks. Intelligence sources suggest advanced communication jammers have been activated in certain zones, cutting off journalists and protesters from broadcasting live. The government insists it's to maintain order, but on the ground, many see it as the tightening of a steel fist, a digital curtain drawn over truth itself. This isn't just politics, it's a strategic containment maneuver powered by military precision. The message is clear: dissent will be seen not as disagreement, but as defiance. Tanzania's military modernization over the past 3 years has raised eyebrows across the continent. Recent reports confirm the acquisition of new armored vehicles resembling the Chinese VN-1 amphibious IFVs, fast, heavily shielded, and perfect for urban control. There are also whispers of imported surveillance drones from Turkey, equipped with thermal imaging and crowd analytics systems, hovering unseen over opposition territories. Meanwhile, police units are being reinforced with tear gas launchers, electric crowd dispersal tanks, and communication headsets linked to encrypted military channels. This level of coordination was once reserved for terror operations. Now it's being redirected inward toward the nation's own citizens. The opposition, already struggling to hold rallies, now faces a wall of tactical strategy and state-of-the-art weaponry. Their speeches are drowned out not by disagreement, but by the thunder of engines and rotor blades slicing through the sky. The world is watching, but from the inside, it feels like something far more calculated, a silent test of how far power can push before democracy collapses under the weight of military control. Then came the night that changed everything. Eyewitnesses report convoys of heavily armed troops moving under blackout conditions toward a known opposition district. Locals describe the sound, the synchronized rumble of engines, like a storm approaching. Tanks with mounted machine guns rolled through narrow streets, while unmarked trucks deployed units in full combat gear. Drones swept overhead, casting eerie blue lights across rooftops. Within hours, communications went dark. When the sun rose, multiple opposition figures had vanished. Detained or gone missing, no one could say for sure. Official statements called it a security operation. But satellite images leaked later told another story. Fortified perimeters, new checkpoints, and armored reinforcements stationed near the capital. The people whispered, "This isn't security, this is control." The use of military-grade tech against unarmed citizens marked a turning point. The message was brutal yet clear. The state had crossed into a new battlefield, one fought not with ideology, but intimidation backed by armored power. In response, opposition groups began adapting not with weapons, but with digital resistance. Using encrypted networks and satellite relays, activists began broadcasting footage of arrests, raids, and roadblocks to international audiences. But every broadcast was met with countermeasures. Cyber experts noticed that Tanzania's Cyber Command, a military-run unit trained in digital warfare, was using AI-powered tracking systems to locate and neutralize these digital signals. Meanwhile, military drones conducted sweeps over dense urban areas, detecting infrared movement at night. Tactical vehicles equipped with long-range acoustic devices blasted sonic deterrents to scatter crowds before they could form. It wasn't just suppression. It was a demonstration of dominance. Behind the scenes, military contracts were expanding, new shipments of armored riot vehicles, possibly from Eastern Europe, and surveillance towers rising near coastal regions. This wasn't a coincidence. It was the militarization of an election, step by calculated step, cloaked under words like safety, peace, and order. The tension hit a breaking point when international observers were denied access to several polling regions. Leaked intelligence hinted at military patrols taking positions around voting centers, some even equipped with autonomous drones for aerial monitoring. Citizens began whispering that the ballot boxes were guarded not by hope, but by helmets. In the north, eyewitnesses described transport trucks carrying armed units into civilian zones, allegedly to assist with logistics. But their presence created only one thing: fear. Military jets performed low-altitude flyovers days before the vote, a show of force wrapped in symbolism. The elections for Chirva of democracy now felt like a siege. The people's right to choose was overshadowed by the hum of engines, the glare of spotlights, and the chill of silence, a silence enforced by steel, by drones, by discipline. And in that silence, one question echoed louder than any speech: was Tanzania still voting or surrendering? Now, as tensions reach their peak, both hope and fear hang in the air like smoke after a strike. The opposition vows to fight back through global awareness. But with the internet under surveillance, even their voices struggle to escape. There are reports of secret negotiations, armored deployments to the borders, and the military on high alert, claiming to prevent foreign interference. But analysts suggest the real threat is internal, a country standing on the edge of its own shadow. This is no longer just about politics. It's about power, technology, and control. Tanzania's election has turned into a test of how far a government can militarize democracy before it breaks completely. The outcome will not only define a nation, it could reshape the balance of power across Africa's east coast, where every drone, every jet, every silence hides a deeper message. And as the world holds its breath, one true man's democracy doesn't always die in explosions. Sometimes it disappears behind armored glass.